Namaskar, I'm Pradosh Sharma and you're watching Ritam. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has announced his resignation after losing support of his party members and low popularity in the recent polls. After almost 10 years in power, Trudeau announced his resignation on Monday, saying, "I cannot be the best option." Trudeau's career's freefall had been evident in the opinion polls, which indicated that he would lose in the upcoming polls after being in the office for 10 years. While in office, Trudeau tried his best to use India as a tool for increasing his numbers, as most of his peers have been dissatisfied with his leadership for a significant amount of time. The most glaring was his eagerness to convince his former ally NDP leader Jagmeet Singh, in whose appeasement he chose to raise the earlier allegations against India. Despite Trudeau taking some major steps in debilitating Canada's ties with India, which resulted in expelling dozens of diplomats on both sides, including high commissioners, visas were impacted and trade between the two countries crippled. Add to that anti-India sentiment which had been harboring within the Canadian territory due to Sikh extremists, which got space in Canadian politics. Trudeau's political maneuver of keeping the gun on the shoulders of India was a failed tactic in achieving the true goal of his survival strategy in the upcoming polls. It started when he lost the support of Jagmeet Singh, his key ally, leading to a no-confidence vote against the Prime Minister in the Parliament as he struggled to keep power with coalition from some smaller parties. Many senior Liberal Party MPs, including Sean Casey, Ken MacDonald, and Chandra Arya, called for his resignation. The final blow was Chrystia Freeland's resignation as Canada's Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister, who was Trudeau's most trusted allies. Her decision came after the two did not agree on how to deal with the President-elect Donald Trump's tariff threats. The Canadian economy is also under a deep trench with problems of slow growth, high inflation, and a stagnant GDP. Adding to that, a new president elected from the US, its key neighbor, imposing threats and jokes on his failing leadership in the same tone. Donald Trump on repeated occasions had called Canada as the 51st state of the United States and Trudeau the governor. Trump had said that the Canada was surviving on exploiting the trade policies it has with the US and that he intends to set it right. From New Delhi's point of view, it was indeed a high time that Canadian politics got a do-over, especially after September 2023, when he chose to make baseless allegations on India regarding the death of Sikh separatist Hardeep Singh Nijjar. His actions from there on reflected his scorched earth policy, which he had opted in terms of India-Canada relationships. Without credible evidence, he took it upon himself to blame Indian officials for being involved in the killing of Nijjar. Delhi rejected Trudeau's allegations, calling his actions absurd and politically motivated. Sikh separatist activities in Canada, including attacks on Hindu temples and cultural places alike, hurling of abuse of Indian leaders, had become a common scene. Despite multiple exchanges like meeting in international forums like the G20 summit, Canada has failed to take any concrete steps in mending the bridge of communication. With a high chance of Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre becoming the next successor, it will be a new show for India-Canada ties. Although Poilievre earlier had blamed Trudeau for soaring India-Canada ties, it is still too early to predict a clear side. For now, Delhi has kept its communication channels open in regard to the opposition, as there is a slight chance in stabilizing the ties with a fresh leadership in queue.